Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Onika. If you're new here, welcome in. And if you're returning, thanks for coming back. Today, we have another Oner Active review. We're reviewing the Strong Yet Soft capsule that launched at the beginning of the month. Super excited for this review because we have some return of pieces that we have not seen in so long. We have Unified coming back. We have Mellow Rib coming back. Super, super exciting. As usual, my measurements are in the description. So let's get into it. Okay, first up, we have a bra that I've reviewed on this channel once before in the Iconic Capsule video, and this is the EasyLift Halter bralette. Now, they have made changes since the last time I reviewed this, so that is why I'm reviewing it again. So what they've done is they made the neck strap about an inch longer. I think I included this information in my Set the Tone capsule review, but I didn't have the actual bra to show you guys, but now I do. So they did increase the neck strap by 1 inch, so it's not digging in nearly as much as it was before. I do find this to be overall a lot more comfortable. However, it's still pretty snug, which I would expect from a halter. I'm getting really good coverage here, which I really appreciate. I feel like the old version had decent coverage, but because the strap was so short, I felt like this was kind of like down here. Overall, the construction just wasn't my favorite, but I feel like this overall fit is way more comfortable. I feel a lot more secure in this. Let me show you the back. Absolutely adore this. I do have the cup pads in here. I have not taken them out and I don't feel like I need to. It's giving me decent support with the cup pads in while still giving me enough space to hold my bust. Also, another thing that I mentioned previously about this bra was that this underband kept rolling. But again, I feel like I have a good amount of coverage here and my bust has enough space in these cups where it's not taking up any space in this lower band. So I'm not really experiencing that rolling like I was before, where it would kind of like flip under. Like this is pretty good. I'm actually very impressed with the change that they've made here. I have to look at older pictures and measurements from the first time I tried this bra and see if maybe they made the cup a little bit bigger. I don't know. I just feel like overall it's giving me more coverage. Now, if I do bend over, this doesn't lay flush on me. It does stick out a tiny bit, but honestly, I don't feel like I'm going to fall out of this. Let's see how support is. Definitely light support, which is to be expected with a halter. But absolutely love what they've done with this bra. I would definitely get more. I'll have to report back how this performs at the gym. Now that it is a more comfortable fit for me personally, I would love to see how it holds up. I would like to see if the neck strap stretches out, if I lose any sort of support throughout the day, but I am very impressed with this. Again, the neck strap has some stretch to it. It still is a little bit snug, but it's not digging into my neck so much where it's painful like it used to be. So definitely impressed. I would say if you're in between sizes, go with the bigger size. I am typically a size medium in Honor bras, and this is a size medium. I think it's definitely true to size 100%. If you're worried about it digging into your neck or your lats or anything like that, and you're in between sizes, definitely size up. I think it'd be a lot more comfortable for you. But overall, I'm very, very impressed. Just really quickly, the cup pads are those oval shaped cup pads, which I feel like they've been doing a lot more lately. I kind of miss their old cup pads, but it doesn't look too bad in here. I'm not mad at it. I also feel like this neckline is super flattering. It reminds me of the Timeless square neck bra, which has probably my favorite neckline that Honor has ever done. It's very reminiscent of that, slightly more of a square neck and then rounds up a little bit. Very, very flattering. I am very happy to see that they have taken our feedback and made changes to this bra so quickly. So very good job. I feel like more than anything else, I've talked about the EasyLift high neck bra on this channel more than any other Anu product. So I'm not going to bore you with more information on this. It's just redundant. But I do have two colorways from this launch. So I'm just going to quickly show you how they look. This is Umber Brown. Absolutely gorgeous. There is the back. I'll put sizing recommendations and all of that on the screen, but again, I'm not going to bore you with the same information verbally, but I just want to show you how this bra looks. I'm going to quickly show you the other colorway that I have. And here we have Blackberry Purple. One of my favorite bras Honor has ever done. High coverage, but still low support. I would love a bra like this that has high support for girls who need it. I feel like we have a lot of light support bras. Love to see more high support ones. But yeah, That is the EasyLift high neck. Let's move on. Now, next up, we have probably the one piece that I was the most excited for with this drop, and that is the return of the unified crossback vest. We have not seen this vest in such a long time. I can't even tell you the last time we saw a launch with these, but I'm so glad they didn't abandon them. I'm so glad they brought them back. This is the color Umber Brown. I got a size small, which is the same size that I wear in this vest in pretty much any color that it came out in. And I'm so happy it's back. Here is the back. Straps cross in the back and they are fully adjustable, which we love to see. I love how it overlaps like back here. Kind of reminds me of a unified wrap waistband. Very, very flattering. I just love this. I love this vest so much. This is a vest that I have trained in, that I have worn out to brunches. Like, I feel like it's so versatile. Um, I have to check how my other ones fit compared to this one because I feel like the fit just feels a little bit different with this one. I feel like I'm getting a lot more coverage both in the front and on the sides. That's just how I feel, though. I haven't done a flat lay to check if that's actually what's happened, but it does feel a little bit different. So snatching, like, I'm just so happy these are back. Super, super stretchy. I will say though, this top is difficult to get on. It is quite difficult. I think maybe if I sized up to a medium, it'd be easier to get on, but I do not like when the waist is super wrinkly. But it is a little bit challenging to get on. These straps, if you have wider lats, these straps are probably gonna dig in. I can't even lie. Again, you can loosen them. They are fully adjustable, so that will help a little bit, but it's just the nature of the straps. Like, they're kind of like that bra strap sort of material where it can dig in if it's a little bit too snug. So just keep that in mind. This top does have a shelf bra with cup pads. I'll just quickly show you. There it is. Now the shelf does not wrap all the way around. It is just on the front. I will show you a picture of that, what I'm talking about, but the shelf is only to about here. And then the back, there's nothing. You know what I mean? Like, in the past, that has been an issue for me. I noticed in the past that my bust kind of pushed the shelf bra away from my torso, so I did have a little bit of gaping in some of the colors, but it feels a lot more snug and secure in this one. I don't know if they've made any notable changes, but it does feel different to me. Support, honestly, I would say it's more like light to medium. I feel like this is holding me down a little bit more, which is nice. I don't feel like I'm going to spill out of this, which I really appreciate. But yeah, I absolutely adore this top, and I'm so glad to have it back. The length is pretty good. I would say it's definitely more of a full length. It is going way past my waistband. It would be nice to see them offer this top in another length, maybe like a mid length for girls with even a shorter torso than mine. That would be a nice option to have. But overall, I really, really enjoy this top. Again, if you are sensitive to snug straps or things crossing on your back, this top is a little bit more on the snug side with the straps. You can loosen it, it will help a little bit. It's very easy to loosen the bra straps, and that does help. You're not really going to lose a ton of support by loosening the straps either. I still feel like I'm fairly supported. So that is really nice. In the past, I have had to remove the cup pads to give myself a little bit more cup space, but I don't know what's going on with the tops this launch, but I feel like there's a little bit more coverage in some of these returning pieces that we're getting. I don't know. I just feel like I have a good amount of coverage with the cup pads in, and I don't need to take them out. So I don't know what they've done, but I'm a big fan. So for this top, I would say if you're in between sizes and you're worried about the straps digging in, definitely go up a size. If you're not worried about this being a little bit wrinkly, then the larger size would be a more comfortable fit. But if you're like me and you don't like when this is not like snatching you a little bit, a size down is going to be fine depending on your cup size. But for me, I'm in between small and medium. This is a size small, and I don't really have any complaints with how it's fitting me right now. So, yeah, that is a unified crossback vest. So happy it's back. I hope they continue to bring out new colors in this. We have been missing this top. Thank you for bringing it back. I did pick up one other item in chalk pink, and that is the unified wrap flare bottoms. This is my first time trying unified wrap flares, and let me just say I'm a big fan. I don't know why I've been sleeping on these. I don't know. I absolutely adore these leggings. I got a size small regular, which honestly would be my normal size for a flare. I usually go for the regular length because it's around 34 inches, which is my preference. Um, as far as a size small, that's pretty much my size in all of Honor's bottoms except for soft motion, which I like to size down in for flare specifically. But here we are. I'm wearing black underwear under this because I wanted to check sheerness, but then I'll switch out to nude colored underwear so you can see the difference. But here is the back. Again, it's that unified glute seam that is not a scrunch, but it does kind of go in there if you would like it to. Super flattering without being like in your face. The waistband is a wrap waistband. There you go. And it definitely is more of a mid-rise, not like a high-waisted fit like the normal unified leggings and bottoms. Unified wrap is a little bit more mid-rise, so definitely short torso friendly. Here is the flare. It doesn't flare out a ton. I kind of wish it flared out a little bit more personally, but I don't mind it too much. Let me just quickly do a squat test in this for you. Again, I'm wearing a black thong under this. Move the camera up a bit so you can see the waistband a little bit better. As you can see, the waistband is double lined, whereas the rest of the body of the leggings are not. So there is a difference in how it looks. This is way more opaque versus the actual body of the legging. Um, Definitely more on the sheer side. I personally don't mind this. Like, I feel like it's giving me enough coverage, but I think if you have a fair skin tone and you don't wear nude colored underwear with this, you're going to see right through the fabric. So definitely recommend wearing nude color underwear with these bottoms. Probably skip a leg day in it, maybe just stick to upper body for this. For me personally, I feel pretty safe in this. I wouldn't mind doing a leg day in it. And shockingly, even though I'm wearing black underwear, I don't feel like I can see it very much through the fabric. I think at most I'll probably see it at the back, but it's honestly not that bad for me personally. And that is a testament to the unified fabric being a little bit thicker. It's not like effortless, it's seamless in it and will be a lot more sheer. This is a little bit better. I feel like maybe you can kind of see the, yeah, I don't know if you can see that line there. I don't know. I'm seeing it more in the mirror than I am in the camera. But yeah, super, super happy with these bottoms. Again, with flares, you want to go a few inches longer than your natural inseam. So for me, my inseam is 30 inches. This is a 34-inch inseam. I will double check the length because Honor advertises it as 34 inches, but I swear I measured one of my other flares that I have and they were like 33.5. So take that inseam with a grain of salt. It might be like a half inch off. I personally don't mind. I still feel like it falls at a good spot for me. Let me just bring the camera back down so you can see where it falls. That is where it falls on me with no shoes on. If I wore like bulky shoes, then I feel like these might be a little bit too short, but I don't really have any shoes like that. I'm more of a Converse girl, so this is definitely fine for me. My biggest worry about the unified wrapped flares was this unified fabric I find is a little bit more stiff. It doesn't have a ton of movement. So I was like, how is that going to work in a flare design? But honestly, it's not bad at all. If you're looking for a flare to train in, this will be your go-to. I personally would not train in soft motion in pretty much any capacity, maybe the shorts at most. But those flares are more for like casual wear lounging for me. Whereas I feel like this, I could probably train at the gym and be absolutely fine. But I will definitely put that to the test maybe next week and see how that performs and maybe report back. I'm super impressed. I do have a couple more colors in these to show you. I'm not going to go super in depth with those because it's pretty much the same comments, but a few little differences. But I'll show you that in a second. But overall, very, very impressed. So I would say, as far as sizing, definitely true to size. Go with your normal size in bottoms. I would say if you're in between sizes, though, definitely size up. I feel like this color in particular fits very true to size. I don't feel like it's squishing me down anywhere. I do have different comments for one or two of the other colors, but I definitely feel like this color, chalk pink, is true to size. As far as the length, go with the length that is like 3 to 4 inches longer than your inseam, and I think you will be good to go. Here we have the unified wrap flare bottoms again, but we have it in the color Blackberry Purple. Same size, same length. But right off the bat, I'm noticing that these are a lot longer on me. I don't know if you can see where it falls, but these are definitely hitting the floor more than my chalk pink ones were. So there's definitely some inconsistencies there with inseams, even in the same length. So I'll definitely show a flat lay later with measurements to double check the inseam on all of these flares, but already I'm noticing these are definitely longer, which I don't mind. But if you are really particular about the inseams being consistent across colors, then you might run into an issue here. The fit, on the other hand, I absolutely adore. These are definitely a little bit more compressive than the chalk pink ones. I'm definitely noticing more compression in the thighs and the glutes, but not so much where it's squashing like my glutes down, for example. It's definitely still a flattering fit. I love this color so much. And in the flares, I think it is so flattering. I don't really have a ton of additional comments compared to chalk pink other than the compression being a little bit different. Rise is the same. This is more of a mid rise, but I do feel like this is coming up a little bit higher on my torso than the chalk pink ones were. Um, Again, in a flat lay, I'll double check if what I'm saying is actually true, but just from what I feel like these are a little bit more higher rise on me. Still definitely more a mid-rise bottom, like, these are definitely not high-rise by any means. So, again, it's short torso friendly. I'll do a quick squat test. I'm wearing a black thong under this. Yeah, no issues at all with sheerness in this color. I just love these flares. They're so nice. Unified fabric is slick performance, so it is sweat wicking, really good to train in. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about these. I think they are great. So, Blackberry purple, similar to chalk pink when it comes to sizing. Go with your normal size. If you're in between sizes, definitely size up in this color because it is slightly more compressive than chalk pink is, but I definitely feel like it's more true to size. I feel slightly more snatched in this color than I did in chalk pink, but not so much where I'm uncomfortable. Yeah, these are just very flattering. I am impressed. Let me quickly show you the last colorway I have in these bottoms, and then we'll move on. Okay, the final color I have in the unified wrap flared bottoms is Umber Brown. Now, this is where things get a little bit weird. So obviously I expected a darker color to be a little bit more compressive, but this is about just as dark as Blackberry Purple, and this I feel like is way too snug here and back here. I feel like it is kind of like squashing my glutes down a little bit. As far as the length, it is a similar length to my chalk pink ones. They're not like hitting the floor as much as Blackberry Purple is. They're a little bit closer to chalk pink in length. So again, there's some inconsistencies there. I'm just not a huge fan of this color in the flares. I just don't like how much it's clinging to my thighs. Like, I don't know. I just want it to be a little bit less snug here and here. I just feel like it's not as flattering personally. As far as the rise, I would say the rise is pretty similar to my Blackberry Purple ones. Again, they're all mid-rise, but I feel like specifically Umber Brown and Blackberry Purple just feel a little bit higher rise on my torso than Chalk Pink does. But overall, I'm just not a huge fan of this color in the flares. I think it looks really nice, but it just bothers me how tight it is here. Like, I feel like I'm wearing like normal leggings. You know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of clinging to my thighs a little bit too much. Not a huge fan of that. I'll do a quick squat test. These are obviously going to be fine. I've just moved the camera up a bit to show you the waistband, but I just feel like this is just a little bit snug. Like, I want a little bit more stretch here and back here. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's a little bit snug for me personally. Not a huge fan. I still think it's true to size, but I just don't like how compressive it is in my thighs. Like, I feel like I can feel every seam in these leggings, and I didn't feel that way with the other two colors. Still true to size, but definitely more on the compressive side. So if you're in between sizes, definitely for this colorway, maybe go with your larger size. If you don't mind a bit of compression, then you can just go with your normal size small. Like, it still fits me, it fits fine, but I think just personal preference, I would prefer if this wasn't clinging to my thighs so much. Like, it's just a little bit too snug around here. So not a huge fan. Those are all of my thoughts on the unified wrap flares. Overall, I'm a big fan of them. I would absolutely get more colors, but I would just be a little bit mindful with certain colorways. I mean, I guess you won't know until you try, but all of the colorways definitely do not fit the exact same. There are a couple little differences, definitely some discrepancies with inseam lengths. But overall, I'm a big fan of the unified wrap flares. Very, very big fan. The unified wrap collection in general, I feel is very flattering, but I'll save all of that for another video that you will see very soon. Moving on to the unified high-waisted leggings. Okay, so this is my first time trying the unified high-waisted leggings. In the past, I've only tried the shorts. And let me just say, these are not fun to get on. Granted, I do feel like it has decent stretch, but it's definitely more on the compressive side. Mostly in the legs for me though. Like I don't feel like it's super compressive here, which just to note, they did make changes to the waistband for this launch. I think they added either a half inch to an inch more on the waist. I'll double check and put it on the screen if I'm incorrect, but they definitely added a little bit more to the waist for this launch. So I don't feel like it's super tight compared to some of the unified high waisted shorts I have from the past. So it's definitely more of a comfortable fit here. But as for the legs and the glutes, definitely more on the snug side. Similar comments to the Umber Brown unified wrap flares that I just tried on. Like these are very snug here. I don't mind it as much on the leggings versus flares just because I feel like it's a little bit more seamless with leggings. With the flares, I don't want all of this to be tight and then it flares out. It just, I don't know, it's just weird to me. But yeah, these are a size small, long length. Again, with normal leggings, I tend to go for the longer length. I don't really want my leggings to be at my ankles. I want them to be longer than that. So I go for the long length. But I do feel like it is squashing my glutes down here. Like I can just feel there isn't really a ton of fabric for me to work with right here. Yeah, I just feel too compressed back there. Let me do a quick squat test. I bet these are good in this colorway. Let me just move up a little bit, show you how much stretch we have going on with the waist. And down here, do you see how it's just not stretching very much? Obviously, I don't feel any restriction when I squat down. Like I feel like the fabric stretches in that capacity, but I just want a little bit more give here. You know what I mean? But that's just personal preference. I think a lot of people would really enjoy these to train in because they maybe won't have to adjust it too much because of this compression. But I don't know. I need a little bit more give personally. Again, this is a high-waisted legging, not mid-rise like unified wrap, so it is coming up higher on me. My belly button is about here, and it is about an inch, inch and a half higher than that. So I don't know if I would say short torso friendly, but for me personally, it's fine. I don't mind it. But again, this compression is a little bit too much for me. So I would say if you're in between sizes, 100% size up in the unified high-waisted leggings because they are pretty snug. Again, mostly in the legs and the glutes area. For me, the waistband isn't bad. The waistband is really not bugging me very much. Um, but everywhere else is just a little bit snug for me personally. But pretty much all the same features as the unified wrap flares in the back. We have that glute seam that is very flattering, but it isn't a scrunch, but you can pull it up there if you need to. Main difference here is going to be the waist. More high rise, a normal waistband, it's not wrap. But yeah, those are the unified high-waisted leggings. Now, here's something else that I don't think I talked about on my channel yet before. These are the unified high-waisted shorts. I'll put the inseam on the screen. I kind of forget what they are supposed to be. They're either 5 or 6 inches, but this is a size small in Umber Brown, and I just love the unified shorts down. Like, I think they are so underrated. People talk about effortless all the time. I was one of those people. I wanted nothing to do with unified, but once I tried them, I was like, okay, I see why people like them. They are such a beautiful pair of shorts. Now, again, the waist is a little bit less snug than it used to be. I feel like I do have a little bit of give here, which I appreciate. Still a decent stretch everywhere else. I don't feel like I'm restricted, but it definitely is more on the compressive side. It is by far the most compressive bottoms that Honor offers right now, which isn't a bad thing. It's really good for people who do high impact sort of workouts. This is really nice. The fabric is sweat wicking, slick performance material, high waisted fit. Um, I do find the band does roll down a little bit. Like, you see how it's flipping a little bit with the movement. So it doesn't completely stay up for me personally, but it's not really a huge deal. I have that issue with pretty much every pair of bottoms from any brand, so it's not a big deal for me personally. Even though it's high waisted, I don't feel like I have to roll the waistband over. I actually prefer not to do that with these. I think having it up as normal is absolutely fine for me. I'll do a quick squat test. And of course, it's unified, have no issues there. I don't experience rolling with these shorts either. I have trained in unified shorts many, many times before, and I don't experience any rolling. They do slide up a little bit throughout my workout, but not a ton. Definitely no rolling. Um, but I absolutely love these. I would say pretty much with all of the unified pieces that I've mentioned so far, I think these are true to size. Size up if you're in between because it's a more compressive fit. If you don't want a ton of compression, definitely that larger size is going to be a little bit more helpful for you, a little bit more comfortable. But I absolutely love the way these are fitting. I would love to see these colors from this drop in unified wrap because honestly, I just prefer the waistband in that. I prefer a mid rise. I like the way that the unified wrap gives you like a snatched hourglass figure. But the unified high waisted shorts, honestly, are such a good pick. I really like them. But yeah, those are the unified high waisted shorts. So now we have the short all-in-one. This is a 6-inch short on this. It's the exact same design as the long all-in-one, which I'll show you in a second, but it's in a 6-inch short instead. Everything is the same except the bottoms. I got a size small in this, and I have tried these before. These launched back in September 2024, I believe, and I tried them then, and I just was not a fan at all. The fit was just very off to me. Basically, what I had issues with was the side boob coverage, of course, but also this band, this shelf in here was like not sitting flush against me, so I had like no support. I do feel like it's been fixed with this new launch. Love that it's in a 6-inch short option now. I think before it may have been 4 or 5 inches. It was a little bit short. I didn't notice any riding up with it, but I love how we have a little bit of extra length now just for security. Here is the back. I've already trained in this piece and honestly, it held up really well. I didn't really have to adjust it much. The straps are adjustable as well. They do dig in a little bit. If you have wider lats, you might experience some digging with the straps, so just be mindful of that. But again, you can loosen them as much as you'd like, and it does help. You're not going to lose a ton of support if you loosen the straps. It's that nice unified fabric, a little bit compressive, but not too much. It still has a decent amount of give, which I love. I love that even though it's a little bit stretchy, it's still kind of snatching me here. I don't feel like I look boxy or have a ton of excess fabric, so that is really nice. Again, I'm not a huge fan of the lack of coverage here. I would love it if it was just like an inch or half an inch higher up there just to give better side boob coverage. I do think if I sized up to a medium, that would have helped with coverage, but then I wouldn't really have any support and I would have excess fabric here for sure. No doubt about that. Let's do a quick squat test. I'm going to go ahead and bring the camera down. Again, the unified fabric is pretty good. Let me just show you the shorts. A lot of stretch. It's not going to roll, but it does slide up a little bit with movement just because the fabric is more of that slick performance. So it does move around a little bit, but I'm not getting any of this happening, any rolling. It's not digging in anywhere. Really, really good stretch. Better look at the top portion. It's very reminiscent of the unified crossback vest. However, I feel like the vest has a lot better coverage, especially on the sides. I kind of wish they did the same thing with that. Like just, you know, just a little bit more. That is all I need, and then it would be perfect. But it is what it is. I do feel like it is better than it used to be anyway. So there has been some adjustments made, I think. But yeah, there's not a ton of compression here. Like the fabric is quite stretchy here. It's not super compressive. So I'm not really feeling like it's holding me down a ton here, but I do feel like it is holding me here. And I think it has to do with the seams that are right here. It's giving me a little bit extra support. Um, I really like this piece. I actually have it in two colors, but the other color I have is not from this launch, so you'll see it in my next video. But I really do enjoy this piece. I think it is really nice. I'm glad that some changes were made. There's still a couple things I would tweak for this to be perfect, but having one in your wardrobe isn't a bad idea if you want a one piece that you can train in, but also dress up if you'd like putting like a flannel over this or a jacket or something would be really cute. Very quickly, sizing recommendations. I would say if you're in between sizes, maybe go up a size, especially if you need more coverage. I'm in between sizes, but choose to size down again because I do not want this to be super wrinkly. I don't regret sizing down because I feel like it still has really good stretch. But just to be on the safe side, if you want a bit more coverage and you don't want the straps to dig into your back, size up one. I do think this piece is definitely true to size now. I don't really feel like sizing is off with it. There's just a couple little design tweaks that I would make just so it fits a little bit better. But yeah, that is the short all-in-one in the 6-inch inseam. Really step back for this next one. But next up, we have the unified long all-in-one. Now, this is not our first time seeing this. We've seen this a bunch of times before, but I feel like they have made some changes to it. I reviewed this a couple times before, I think in black and rosewood. Now I have this umber brown colorway, and I definitely feel like it has a lot more give than I was expecting. I have it in black. That was the first color that I got this in, and it was definitely more snug in certain areas, especially around the glutes. And I feel like as a result, like the back would kind of pull down throughout the day. This feels like it has a little bit more stretch, a little bit more fabric to work with. Let me show you the back. This is so beautiful. It's kind of like if you were to take the unified crossback vest and the unified leggings and kind of just like mash them together with a little bit of a twist with this lower back. But it's kind of like a mix of those two things in one garment. And honestly, I'm really impressed with how this is fitting. Again, I feel like it has a little bit more stretch than the black, for example. And with rosewood, I think in the past I said that it fit a little bit looser than the black, but I found that the waist was a little bit wrinkly, a little bit loose. This is fitting me perfectly. This is a size small in the long length, so I go with like what I would get in leggings. And honestly, it fits really well personally. Now, if you're one of those people who do not wear the same size for your top and bottom, something like this might be a little bit difficult. If you're one of those people, this is probably going to be a little bit difficult. Maybe opt for the two individual pieces. However, I have friends who are a lot more developed in the lower body and smaller up here, and they fit a size small just fine. I think this new fabric, because it has a little bit more give, it's a little bit more forgiving. Do a quick squat test in this. So I am checking sheerness with that, but I'm also checking to see if this starts writing down as I squatted. Honestly, I don't think it did. So that's really good. I'm not sure what they've done with this all-in-one, but it's a lot better than it used to be. I feel like the fabric is slightly slicker than my black too. My black one did pill over time. I feel like the fabric, I don't know if maybe after a few washes or something, it got a little bit fuzzy right here, and I did have some pilling within the thighs. So just be mindful, even though this fabric is on the slick side, it can pill if there's too much friction on the fabric. However, I do feel like this colorway is slightly more slick than the black one that I have. So just keep that in mind. The fabric is not indestructible by any means, but it definitely is a little bit more durable than some of the other fabrics that Otter has. Overall, I'm so impressed with this. I'm just going to quickly check support. I think similar to the unified crossback vest, it's going to have a similar level of support up here. I would say light to medium. I'm just going to quickly angle the camera up and show you the way this top is fitting. I have a couple things that I want to mention. I had a couple of critiques about this all-in-one when it first launched, and one of the main things is the side boob coverage. I don't feel like that's been fully addressed here. I'm still kind of peeking out of the sides a little bit more. I would love like maybe a half inch more fabric, so just that it sits there. I would feel a lot more secure. That is my one piece of feedback for the side coverage. The other thing is that, again, the shelf bra band is only at the front because the back is open like this. That was an issue for me in the past. I felt like because it only went around to the front that it pushed away from my torso and then I would get gaping. I don't feel like that now. I feel like it's definitely more snug here and it's laying a lot more flat. Like I can't even really see the lower band. Whereas in the past, I could kind of clearly see it because it was like levitating away from my body. So I feel like that has definitely been fixed with this color at least. I can't speak for any other color, but I would say for the umber brown, that seems to be fixed. But my main issue now is just the side boob coverage. I would love just zero point 0.5 inches more of fabric on the side. Don't mind the cleavage too much. I think it's fine. Like It's cute, honestly, and I don't feel like I'm going to fall out. The other thing I'm noticing though here is that this seam up here, it's kind of not laying flat. Like, I don't know if you can see it's kind of doing that. Um, I don't know how to fix that. I feel like no matter what I do, it's still kind of doing that. I don't know if that's something that you guys care about, but just something to note. I have the cup pads in here. I don't feel the need to take them out. I have enough space here in the cups, even with the cup pads in, so I'll leave those in. Whereas in the past, I think for the black, I had to take the cup pads out just because I needed that space. So again, similar commentary to some of the other tops that I've mentioned in this video. I don't know. I feel like the coverage is a little bit different. I feel like I have more space in these bras, and I'm not sure why that is because I didn't see any comments from athletes or affiliates or anything saying that they've made changes to the overall coverage of the unified tops. But maybe, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I'm noticing some sort of difference. So I will do a flat lay later on to see if there's an actual notable difference or if it's just in my head. I don't know. But this is the unified all in one, the scoop back all in one to be exact, but I absolutely adore it. Really quickly with sizing, I would say if you're in between sizes and you want a more comfortable fit, definitely size up if you're not worried about support. But if you definitely want more comfort, size up. If you want support and you're in between sizes, you might want to size down. Again, this shelf bra does not wrap all the way around. So if you go a size up and you're worried about support, this shelf bra is not going to give you any support if you size up. It needs to be snug so that it can hold you in a little bit more. So consider sizing down. Again, it's going to be more snug, but the straps in the back are adjustable, so you can go ahead and make them as loose as you need to. It does still dig in a little bit, even on the loosest setting. It's just the nature of these straps and the way they cross over your lats. So it is definitely digging into my back a little bit. It's not super uncomfortable for me personally, but I don't know, maybe I just have like a high pain tolerance. But yeah, just keep that in mind. So I would say if you're in between sizes, size up for comfort, but size down if you want that support. Now here we have something else I have spoken about on my channel before. This is the unified jacket. However, even though I've spoken about this jacket many times before on this channel, I do feel like this one fits a little bit differently. So let me go ahead and put it on and show you. So again, this is the same color as the all-in-one that I'm wearing underneath this. This is a size small, but I feel like there's a little bit more room in this jacket than there used to be. I feel like it's not as snug as it used to be. I'm noticing there's more fabric on the arms, which I love. This does not feel as tight here, which again, we love to have a little bit more space. I even found that zipping this up over my bust was a lot easier. Like I feel like the fabric just stretches a lot better. There's a little bit more fabric to work with on my torso. I'll turn around to the back. Do you see how it's like wrinkling all over? Like there's just overall more fabric, which I actually love because I feel like the unified jacket before was very, very, very snug. And the only reason I went with the size small instead of the medium in the past was because I do not like the waist to be wrinkly. I just want it to be sitting flush on me. This is still sitting flush on me without like holding me in too much. It is way more of a comfortable fit. So super, super happy with the changes they've made to this jacket. I'll have to do a flat lay to some of my older unified jackets to see if there's a real difference, but I can definitely feel the difference. So this is a performance material jacket, same material as all the unified pieces that I showed you so far. It is sweat wicking, great for the gym. I have trained in unified jackets in the past and I had no issues with them. There is a ventilation flap on the back. If you do move your arms back, it does lift up, which some people absolutely hate. For me, it's like whatever. Doesn't bother me that much. But yeah, the length is pretty good. It is definitely past where my waistband would be. Um, yeah, I would say it's more of a full length jacket. It could be a little bit longer for some people who want a full length jacket, but honestly, I do not mind the length of this jacket at all. Like, I feel like I'm not restricted at all in the arms whatsoever. It definitely feels a lot more comfortable. Like, it just has more give, which I really, really love. So, whatever you've done with this jacket, Honor Active, I love it. Okay, now we are done with the performance materials. Let's move on to some lifestyle pieces. So we have some Mellow rib pieces here, which I'm very excited to show you. So let's get started. Right off the bat, I'm going to start with the Mellow rib long sleeve V-neck. This top sold out so fast in my size. I Was quite surprised by how popular this is. However, now that I've tried it myself, I can totally see why it's popular. So let me go ahead and put this on. Now it is a slightly off the shoulder fit. This is a size small. Adore how long the sleeves are. I love a long sleeve. Again, I have really long arms, so a long sleeve is my favorite. This is the umber brown color on top of the umber brown all-in-one. I posted this on my story and you guys really love this combination. I have to give a shout out to my friend India. That was 100% her idea. I did not come up with that. She told me about it. Um, but I just love how these look together. Honestly, the more that I'm wearing this together, the more that I'm enjoying it. The first time I put this on, I wasn't sure if I would wear the same color on top of this. I feel like it just looks a little bit too samey, but this actually looks so clean and sleek. I adore it. Back to the top. So we have Mellow ribbed here. Mellow rib is a ribbed, stretchy material. It has these beautiful contour lines that we see on all of the Mellow products, Mellow Soft and Mellow Rib, off the shoulder cut V-neck. It is so flattering. I am not an off the shoulder girl. Like for the longest time, I used to be really insecure about my back and how wide it is. So things that were off the shoulder just accentuated that a little bit more, as well as my shoulders being really broad. But I find this so feminine and attractive. Like this is so nice to me. Here is the back. This is the mid length. They also do have the full length version of this top too. However, it only comes in three colorways. I think it's just black, light gray marl, and white, whereas the mid comes out in all those colors, as well as chalk pink and umber brown, which is what I'm wearing right now. Absolutely adore this. I hope they restock. I hope they saw how popular these were and bring them back because I want so many more colors. These are so nice. I don't see myself trading in this. This is definitely a lifestyle piece. I see myself going out to lunches, brunches, all of that stuff, hanging out with friends in something like this, especially with autumn and winter coming up. Obviously, where I am, it's not going to get super cold for a long while, but when it does, I am popping this out 100%. Again, this is a size small. I would say if you're in between sizes, you can 100% size down in this. Mellow Rib is known for being extremely stretchy, no restriction whatsoever. Honestly, I think you can go either way with sizing, but if you want it to fit flush against you and look seamless and sleek like this, definitely size down. And if you are a short torso girly like myself, the mid length is fantastic. I think it is so flattering. Absolutely love this. I saw some comments saying how you can wear this backwards. I kind of see how that looks. So let me try that out really quickly. Okay, yeah, you totally can wear it backwards. Do you know what? I don't mind it. This is kind of cute. So if you're a girl who wants a little bit more coverage, maybe you want to go a little bit more modest, you can turn this around and it'll cover you nicely. And then you have this beautiful V-neck at the back that shows off your like strappy bra or whatever. Okay, maybe not modest, but if you want to just cover up your cleavage a little bit more, then go ahead and do this. And if you want to make the back the whole moment instead of the front, you can absolutely turn this around and wear it backwards. I don't know who said that in the comments somewhere, but I have to give you credit if I find your comments again because this is so cute. Of course, the Honor logo is going to be at the back instead of the front, but honestly, because it's so subtle, I don't even think that's a huge issue. But wearing it back like this, wait, why do I think this is so cute? Oh my gosh, I have to find the girl who said that and give her credit. I hope I can find that comment again because this game changer. I honestly love it both ways. Like this is super super flattering. Wow, okay. But that is the Mellow Rib long sleeve V-neck top. Absolutely gorgeous. If you see this in your size, pick it up. You will not be disappointed. Okay, moving on to the Mellow Ribbed high neck vest. This is probably the only piece in this entire video that I'm giving my first impressions on. I've had this for a few days now, but I've not tried it on until now. Um, this is not a new vest as far as like what's on the market. I feel like I've seen it everywhere, and I do own a few of these vests already from other brands. For years and years and years, I've had these vests, but this one has the signature mellow contouring on the front. Here is the back. Again, I'm wearing the long all-in-one under this. And honestly, it's not bad. So if you want the all-in-one, but maybe want a little bit more coverage up here, putting something like this over it Not a bad idea. It looks kind of cute. This is a size small, which is typically what I would get in a sleeveless sort of top. I usually go for a size small, and it fits perfectly. I really have no complaints here. The seams up here, the stitching, all of that is a little bit on the bulkier side, which is fine. Like that's absolutely fine. I am noticing that I'm having to adjust the straps of the all-in-one under this a little bit just so it's not peeking out. Honestly, I don't have a lot of comments for this top. It's a very simple sort of top that I've seen a million times. The colors that they have are really nice and I feel like are really unique. But honestly, there's nothing super special about this. I guess the only thing it really has going for it is these contour lines here that accentuate your shape. That is something that I don't see super often, and I feel like it's very unique to Oner. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just what I've noticed with their Mellow pieces. This contouring here I think is really special. And also this bottom hem, this curved hem, I think is also really flattering. So for this top, I would say if you're in between sizes, definitely size down 100%. I don't think you need to size up in this. It is definitely true to size. It fits like a glove. Again, Mellow Rib is super stretchy. Like, honestly, there's no need to size up in this at all. Super cute, but again, this is not like a super unique piece to the brand, so you definitely can get something like this elsewhere. However, if there's a specific color that you really like that Oner has, this isn't a bad buy personally. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the other colorway, and I'll also show you how a different bra looks under this. Right now, again, I'm wearing the long all-in-one under this, but I'll show you how it looks with the EasyLift high neck bra, for example. So here we have the same top, but in Blackberry purple, and I do have the EasyLift high neck bra underneath, and it fits seamlessly under this top. Let me show you the back. Like you cannot see the bra. I think if you stand really, really close, you might see the little straps from the EasyLift high neck bra, but it fits really, really well under this top. So yeah, you have a few options to wear with these tops if you want to wear like activewear underneath it. It fits really well underneath. And now I'm wearing this top with the unified wrap flares in chalk pink. And honestly, the combination, very cute. So I'm a little bit in two minds about these tops just because, again, I don't feel like they're anything special, but I really do like how they fit and I do like the colorway. So I really have to think on this and see if I want to keep maybe one of them or both or none. I don't really know what I'm going to do yet, but overall, I think they're really well made, beautifully designed. But like I said, these are not new to the market. So just keep that in mind, guys.
Okay, so I have a few flat lays here for you. First is the Unified V-neck crossback vest. I'm comparing it to the very first launch of them versus another color that I felt ran a little bit bigger. And I feel like Umber Brown looks a little bit more similar to that color that ran big in the past, which was Sherbet Yellow. Definitely an overall less snug fit this time. And here I'm comparing the inseams of all of the unified wrap flares that I currently own. Chalk pink and umber brown are definitely a little bit shorter than blackberry purple for me personally in a size small regular. I don't know if this is consistent across all batches, but for the ones that I have specifically, there is some inconsistencies with inseams, considering that they're marketed as a 34-inch for the regular length. And then quickly comparing the old unified high-waisted shorts versus the new, they did say that they made the waistband half-inch wider, and I definitely see that here with Umber Brown versus Moss Brown from a few launches ago. And similar to the unified crossback vest that I showed you earlier, there have been some changes made to the unified scoop back all-in-one, in the long one specifically, just because I have that one to compare with the old versus new. I feel like the new one is definitely overall a lot more wide. There's more room. It's more forgiving. You can see in the flat lay here that my original black one is a lot more narrow throughout than the current design of the long all-in-one. And finally, the unified jacket. Overall, the new fit seems to be a little bit wider than my older pairs. I especially noticed that the arms had more room, especially underneath the armpit. There's definitely more room now than there used to be. So I feel like overall they've made the fit a little bit less snug and a little bit wider.
All right, so that is all I have today for the try on portion, but I wanted to quickly talk about logistics. So I placed my order at launch, which was, I think, the first week of August. It took about 3 weeks at least for all of my packages to come in. Honor did say they were trialing a new shipping process in the US to get around tariffs, so it took a lot longer for packages to get through customs. However, I did receive everything, no damages, everything was good. So just be mindful that if you do plan to order anything in the near future, there may be some delays with customs, especially as we have new laws in this country that still need to be ironed out. So just keep that in mind. It did take a while for my packages to get here. But yeah, that is all I have for this video. I think that this capsule may be my favorite that they've done this year. Like, there's so many pieces in it that I absolutely adore and know I'm going to reach for over and over. So I'm super, super happy with this capsule. Stay tuned because I do have a full unified collection review coming next. I'm going over every single unified piece that I have tried over the last 2 years, I want to say. So stay tuned for that. I'll give you sizing recommendations. I'll show you every single color I own. So definitely stay tuned. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe before you head out. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.